G'day guys, Simon here from KC Roof Plumbing. Today we're just going to do a little video on how we basically put a side apron eventually connecting with a top apron on one of our roofs we lay. So the first thing to do would be to check over our plan. We've previously done this on Salesforce, make sure we've got the right apron for the right spot. In this case we've got this one here. We're just going to pick it up, take it over, do a few pre-checks before we start. Before we start, we like to just make sure, obviously, we've got the apron in the right spot. Check over our roof, make sure we've got no screws that are going to be interrupting in where our apron going. And also making sure our sheets turn down where the apron's going, as this can be difficult to get to once we've put the apron on. Alright, now we've done our pre-checks, we're going to go ahead and get our apron, set it in place, we'll show you how to cut it in. So we've set it roughly where we want it. First thing we want to do is cut in the back. For this step, I don't know if you can see on the camera here, but you'll notice we have a square cut, our roof's on an angle. We've got to try and figure out how to get this angle. You can obviously use a bevel, several different devices. The way I like to do it, put my apron up so it touches, put my ruler down the wall, get my trusty pen out and just mark straight up. What that's going to do is allow we've got the correct fall on the apron for the correct part of the roof we're cutting the flashing in for. Also, when we do this, obviously we've got to fold this around, make sure we've got lap to make it all waterproof. We need to cut this off as well because that's going to be in our way. Remember, we've got sheets here too that have got turned up. We're going to have to get rid of some of this. I like to cut it up here, cut it across, we'll cut it out. We put a little snip in the top too here, just on our line. Just helps when we fold. We're just going to get a nice tidy fold on the side there. Just a tiny little angle on the bottom, just to make sure nothing hits. And that bit's done. Get our trusty little foldies out. This one's not too high, we should be able to get it in one fold, still look reasonably well. Once we've got our foldies on our line, I like to hold the top, bring it all nice and close, just do a little fold, come up, do the top bit as well. Now we'll see when I push this back now, it should follow our nice, just follow it nicely. As we can see, we've missed all the sheets here, missed our little turn up, still got plenty of coverage. Got a nice little lap at the back there. Next step would be to go down the bottom of the sheet, and we've got to do a similar thing but on the flat part. So let's go down and we'll check it out. Like I said, we're going to go down the bottom now and fold our bottom down, make sure it's all nice and watertight and bird proof. Come with me, I'll show you how to do it. First step, make sure we're hard and tight in, hard and tight back. When we fold these down, we want to make sure we're running past our roof sheet at least 10 mil. That way we don't get any water dripping in, dripping off onto our roof sheet. We'll go ahead and mark that. Now, some people use squares here. I don't like to. You could have a tapered cut. Well, the roof could be slightly out. I like to measure off the boxy. Give me a nice straight edge to where we're going to. We've got 255, we're going to go the other side, mark the same. Get our ruler out, mark our first line. These rib heights on this particular sheet are about 25mm. What I like to do is make sure we're at least 25mm of a turn down. Once we turn it down, in this case my ruler is about 32mm, we're just going to do a 32mm turn down. So we just put our ruler on our mark, mark the other side. Also a little trick I use for these ones, sit our square, this square's got a little level on it. Set it in place, get our mark roughly level, we're just going to mark straight up. We're going to cut all this bit off. Folding down roughly our 32mm. I'll go ahead and cut it, then we can get on to folding. So we're about to do our final cut and then begin the folding process. Some people cut this little triangle, rectangle bit here off. I like to keep it on, makes it a bit cleaner, a bit on the side. All I'm going to do is snip straight up, make it a bit shorter, do a little triangle. I don't know if you can see on this little offcut, there's a little triangle there where we've taken out, to ensure when we fold it, it's not going to hit up the top, we're going to get a nicer fold. Same as the top fold, we'll just get our foldies out, put it on our line and fold our flashing down. I like to just do little folds at the start, give me a bit of a nicer line to work off. Then you can come through at the end and just do your final. Final folds. As we can see here, we've got a little bit extra from where we folded it. We're just going to get our snips and cut that off. Ensure that it doesn't hit our sheet here, cause any problems later. Alright, so we're just about cut in. We're going to pin our flashing back, make sure it doesn't move. First off, we've got to like to pin the top somewhere up here where the capping is going to go, but also making sure that we don't have negative fall backwards in this corner here, so that the water's going to pond backwards. So we'll just go ahead and pin it. Alright, we're just about complete. All we need to do now, follow our screw line, put some screws in our bottom, make sure that's pinned in. So now we've cut in our flashing, we've got to screw it to our screw lines. Easiest way to do that, I get my foot in there, make sure it's hard up. Measure our distance from our rib. In this case, this rib's 190mm from centre to centre. Put on our existing screws. This video, we're just going to leave the screw a little bit up. It will still have plastic on. We'll come back after and peel that off and screw that in, but we've pinned the bottom. We're going to go up the top, do the exact same thing, then we're ready to do our top flashing. This one you'll probably notice doesn't have a screw next to it. It's a bit harder to sort of work out our straightness. We're going to go ahead and chalk a straight line. Come back a few screws from our existing. Get our chalky out, run it across the top, nice and even with our other screws. We've got a nice straight line. from here. It's just a matter of getting your ruler out, making sure you're the same, that 190 off centre to centre rib. Put it on our straight line. Pin it in, leaving it a little bit up so we can get the plastic off afterwards. Now, we're going to sort of repeat this process. We're going to chalk from top to bottom, allowing any battens in between are nice and straight with our existing screws. Run it over the top of your screw, nice and centre, give it a flick. We've got a nice straight line. We could repeat this side process again if we wanted to. Getting our nice chalk lines nice and straight. X marks the spot, tells us where we can screw it off. That's how to cut in a side apron. Alright, so now that we've finished screwing off pinning our apron in place, we've got this upstand here we need to rivet and seal. In this case it's to a boxy stop end. We're going to go ahead and pre-drill all this, get it all nice and sealed. So now that we've pre-drilled it all, we're going to go ahead and peel all this off, under seal it and rivet it up. We're going to go ahead and just under seal it. Same principle as earlier. Go just behind our rivet line. Now, if you can get access, like I can here, I always like to get my stop end or the existing flashing that it's adjoining to, push it in nice and tight. Get my rivet in for that first one. At least now you know the bottom's nice and tight to the flashing. We can just repeat this process all the way up. Same process as before. I just like to get rid of the excess, even though you could use this as your overseal. I just like to get rid of it and start fresh with a nice little bead of my own. Remove any debris from the area. Now with oversealing, especially this one, you'll notice from where our turn down is, there's a bit of a gap. I like to ensure that it's sealed all the way from the bottom. With a nice little upstand seal there. You'll see, should have seen, a bit of silicone down there. I like to go from top to bottom. Just one little bead, and same thing, just run your thumb straight down. Wiping off any excess. You'll notice this little corner here is fully sealed. If it was a high exposed area to wind and rain, no rain is going to get driven up there by the wind and cause a leak that may or may not occur. Alright, another thing to add when screwing off aprons, especially on a trim deck or a corrugation roof, is even though we do have battens here, we've got a minimum standard of what our screws are allowed to be in distance. In this case it's 500. We're going to go ahead, we've already got our line marked, we're going to go ahead and add an extra screw in between our batten line, which will make sure our spacing of our screws is no more than 500 millimetres apart. So we're just going to go ahead, measure our screw gap, pick the middle spot. Because we've got no existing screw line up the top here, we didn't chalk that earlier, we're just going to chalk our line up, make sure our gaps are to standards. Once we've got our screws in place, we're going to go ahead and peel all this, finish screwing our screws off. Another reason I keep the plastic on too, gets rid of all your chalk lines at the end of the day. And also protects it just that little bit longer in case you've got other people walking behind you or working near you. Couple of key points. You turn down at the front of your sheet, making sure it's a 10mm past the actual roof sheet, and also a good 5mm past the depth of your actual rib of your sheet, allowing any water that's ever going to drip down this edge, it's not going to go back on your sheet or go into the corner. The other key point in this area, silicone down this fold down the bottom. Especially in any high wind or high trafficable area, stops any rain being able to get into there and potentially running back up your sheet. As often on the edge of your sheet you've got a cut sheet or it's the start of a sheet, so there's not going to be too much protection there. Other key points, this one here, just a demonstration, I won't actually touch it because we've got silicone, allowing the rake of the roof to get the correct fold on the side. I always use a ruler, hard up against your timber, gives you the perfect rake. Every roof pitch can be different, saves trying to measure, you can always stuff it up. If you do the simplest trick, putting your ruler there, you're always going to get the correct angle. And the final key step to this process is probably pinning the apron either side, top and bottom when you go to cut it in. For instance, the top one, we pinned it at the top either side, it can't move. The side one, we pinned it top and bottom. Once we had it all cut in, that will allowing it not to move, and it's going to sit in its final place. The last step to remember too, even though we do have battens on this roof, we've got to put in a few extra screws in between these battens to make sure our spacing is no more than 500mm apart. These battens are about 760 apart, so we've just gone in between the gap, definitely making sure we're within our 500 maximum spacing for our screw line. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed the video.